Hey y'all, this is Camille, owner of Rig on Wheels, your lifetime recruiter. Happy New Year. This is a video that I have been thinking about doing since last year. Okay, and I said, no, I'm gonna wait to the beginning of 2021 because I hear this a lot and I want to clear up some stuff. What I'm saying is not going to be all inclusive, but it's definitely going to hit on a lot of our criminal background questions that I get a lot. Basically, you got a felony. Can I help you with second chance? Yes. So please like, subscribe, share. Like, subscribe, share. Okay? So we're going to talk about felonies. We're going to talk about probation. And we're going to talk about misdemeanors. Oh, and we're going to talk about DUIs. Even though typically when you think of DUI, you're also thinking of the driving record, which is important. Obviously, we're in trucking. But it also is part of your criminal background as well. Okay? Or it's a gray area and it laps over. Okay? I recruit for over 50 companies. So I like to say this when it comes to a lot of things. What one company doesn't like, the other company will. It's about you being open, transparent, and honest with me. Okay? It's going to depend on what your record was, when it was, how long you've been out of jail, and what you've been doing since. Okay? We look at overall stuff. If you're being transparent with me, I'm going to be honest. As I'm taking down your application, we're going to look at everything. We're going to look at the felony. We're going to look at how many jobs you've had in a very short period of time. And I'm talking about like 6 months, okay? We're going to look at what the background was and what you've been doing, basically. You know what I mean? If you have a drug background, okay, you got drugs, drug felony, right? And you have a large amount of unemployment that is not accounted for. Come on now. I'm not saying that I can't help you get a job, but I'm saying let's think. Let's focus. What is your end goal? Is your end goal for this to be your career? Truck driving is very near and dear to me. I've been had this recruiting agency for 10 years now. Okay, so it's very important to me. So, and I know that this is a respectable field that you can make good money with. And you don't have to be out on nobody's corner. You ain't got to be slanging nothing. You don't have to be stealing nothing. You don't have to any of those things. So let's get into it. Okay, let's talk about your type of felonies. Okay, the biggest one that I see a lot is your drug felonies. So you were selling drugs, drug possession, whatever. You get the point, right? Typically, the minimum years that I'm going to need from your conviction with a drug felony is 5 years. Okay? It's going to be 5 years. That doesn't mean 4. It definitely don't mean 3. It means 5. So if you was convicted January of 2016, this is January of 2021, that's 5 years. There are some companies that might take you before 5 years and you just had to work with those type of companies for a while and now you see a job that I might have or something like that. I can do that. Now also, let me give you another housekeeping tip or whatever it is you want to call it. You know I'm always messing up some type of saying. If you're a driver that I feel is not being truthful for me, I'm not about to waste your time and I don't need you to waste mine. Okay? My job is to help you get in the career, stay in the career, get a better job in the career that you love. And if we're not being honest, I'm not a recruiter that's going to shoot smoke screens up you know. I'm not about to do that. So I want you to just be a straight shooter with me. Let me know what it is so we can talk about what we can do. Or I can be very specific with you and say, no, I can't this, but I can do it in 6 months. That's the respect I'm going to have for you, and I need you to respect me and let me know exactly what it is. Okay? So I can get it down correctly. So that's my biggest one. Is going to be the drugs. Okay, I want to talk about other ones. Okay, so now we're talking about felony theft. So whether that is your armed robbery, your burglary, stuff like that, right? And checks, all of that. If you stole something, anything dealing with fraud, theft, anything like that, and you got a felony on your jacket. Now you got an F on your jacket. The least amount of years is going to be 5 years for that. I have some companies that 7. I have some companies that say 10. The same thing with the drug conviction. But it's typically going to be 5 years. Okay? Vehicular manslaughter, homicide, all of that. If you actually get a criminal background because of it, it's going to be 10 years. But also that's a gray area because it also depends on what happened. I'm not saying if it was vehicular homicide and it was not your fault, then that's something we can go through and we'll see what company and all of that type of stuff. But I'm talking about where this is actually now your criminal record. Okay? That type of things. Sexual assault. That one is a great area too. If you have a sexual assault on your jacket and you do not have to register, that I might be able to help you with. If you have a rape and you have to register, that typically is going to be what I don't have anybody at the moment to help. Doesn't necessarily mean that. You can always call, you can and stuff like that, because every situation is going to be different. So I'm not going to go through every felony. I'm basically going to go through the ones that I hear the most about. Aggravated arson, things like that, it just depends, because it depends on the full story behind it, and that's typically where your human resource department is going to go ahead and jump in. Okay, human trafficking, please don't call me. I'm not the recruiter for you. I don't have any company that's going to take that. Period. If you call me and you want me to tell you about another company that I don't recruit for, I might be able to do that, but I can't. I don't have one that I can think of with the 50 plus that I recruit for that's going to take human trafficking. Okay. Also, when it comes to your murders and your manslaughters and stuff like that, typically it's going to be no, but there are some times, okay, that I can work with that. But my biggest two are going to be your felony thefts, okay, that's stealing whatever. So whether it be fraud or whatever it is, you writing bad checks and they gave you a felony for it, that's a felony theft, okay? So that's one that I get a lot. So a lot, it can be 5 years, or a lot of them might be 10 years for that one. Also, the biggest one, like I said, is your drug possession. Okay. Now let's talk about probation. If you still on papers, okay, but you got movement, I can submit that in and get you possibly approved. Okay, you have movement. If you have no movement, I don't care if it's a local position and you don't have to go outside of the state, because I deal with national companies. you still need to be able to have movement, okay? It could be a local position, you home every day, but that doesn't mean that you're not going to cross over states. It's a job in North Carolina, you might end up having to go to Virginia, okay? Or they need you to go and pick up a truck or something like that. So you have to be able to have movement. I can't, just like on a driver's license, it can't be interstate. The same thing. Your papers cannot say that you cannot move around. You have to be able to have movement. Okay? It cannot be any restrictions on your movement. Also, misdemeanors. Depending on the misdemeanor, if it's like a violent misdemeanor, and stuff like that, it might be 4 years. It could be more than that. But typically, and I'm looking just to make sure at some of my companies that I deal with the most. But typically, it's going to be about 4 years, depending on the misdemeanor. There are going to be some misdemeanors that is right away. It's right away. You paid your fine or whatever, the customer community service or whatever. So that'll be okay. Let's talk DUIs. Okay. Like I said in the beginning, typically with DUIs, we think about it as just your driving history. But this is going to be more than your driving history. Okay. Because in the trucking industry, it also is going to be looked at, quote unquote, on the criminal side as well. Okay. Typically it's 5 years. So DUI is, it's common words. DUI, DWI, or just an open container. It's all the same thing. Okay. And you're going to need 5 years. I have companies that say 7 years. I got companies that say 10 years. But on average, let's say 5 years from when it happened. Okay? That's how that goes with that. Don't be afraid to call me or text me and ask. Also, in the comments below, don't be afraid there either to leave a comment, and I can tell you. It's just, that's what it is. It's going to be some that I'm going to need you to call me about. But it's black and white. But what I do need you to know is what your record was and when you were convicted and when you were out of jail. One thing I know, okay, is when you got arrested, when you were convicted, how long you did time, not the whole, something like that. No. When it was, okay? Also, when you got off of papers. Those are questions I need answered so I can just go ahead and help you out, okay? But second chance, you got a felony, I can help you. I can help you. So give me a call or text me at 708-487-9064. 708-487-9064. Like, share, subscribe. I'm also on Facebook and on Instagram. All right. Thanks. Bye-bye.